All right, so for geometry, we've got 1.8 sketches, drawings, and constructions. So we're doing it today because tomorrow I have a video, and it'll be harder to show this in a video versus doing it with you. All right, so first of all, vocabulary. There's 3 types of figures in geometry. The first one is a sketch. That's your freehand picture. It may not be accurate. That's what I do on my notes all the time, right? Those are freehand pictures. A drawing is accurate and it uses tools. So it might be when you all were drawing angles on the worksheets a couple days ago, last week. You were using a protractor to measure those angles and to draw those angles. So you were drawing. Today we're going to be working on constructions. Slightly different. They too are accurate, okay, and they use only a straight edge and a compass. So we're going to use your protractor as the straight edge, but we're not going to be measuring the length of lines, just so we have the straight edge. Okay, and then the compass is going to be used to mark off segments of a certain length. So we'll stretch out your compass. Like if I was going to mark off the length of this here, I would stretch out my compass from each end, and then I would keep it that length, and I would move it over, and I would mark it on my own later. So a construction is using just your compass and a straight edge. All right, assumptions from diagrams. We worked on some of these last week as well. So things that we can assume from a diagram is if they're we can assume collinearity. What is collinearity? Collinear. Okay, stop playing with your compass. What is collinearity? Or what does it mean to be collinear? Same what? Line. Okay, so the points are on the same line. We can assume that from a picture, from a diagram. And betweenness. What is betweenness of points? We just did that on the warm-up. A middle point or any point in between, right? If we have a line, if on a diagram we have a line and they say this is A and this is B and this is C and this is D, we can assume that B is between A and C, right? Like that's what they showed us in the diagram. That's okay for us to assume. Intersection of lines. We can assume those when we see them, and we can assume that there are straight lines. Now, if you're supposed to be measuring an angle and it looks straight, don't assume that it's straight, right? Actually measure it. But if they draw a line like this, we're assuming it's straight. Mine's a little curved, right? Human error, but you're assuming it's a straight line. Now, things you cannot are incorrect. Okay, you cannot assume. They have to be marked. Are exact measurements of segments or angles. Okay, you cannot assume those. You have to, just because it looks like a 90 doesn't mean it is a 90 unless you measure it or it's marked that it's a 90. Perpendicular lines. You can't assume they're perpendicular unless it has that square mark that it's a 90 degree. Parallel lines. You can't assume it's parallel unless it has those little arrows from last week. Do you remember the arrows from last week? Okay, that showed that our lines were parallel. So these things must be marked in order for us to know that that's what we're looking at. All right, so let's look at example 1 and state whether each statement can be assumed from the drawing or not. Okay, so that is not even a drawing, let's be honest. That would be what of those 3 things? A sketch, a drawing, or a construction? A sketch, because it was freehand. I copied it out of the book by looking at it. And they're not, well, and I don't think they're supposed to be even. But, okay, so what can, state whether each statement can be assumed from the drawing. So A, point V is between, BTN is between Y and W. Point V, sorry, is between, yeah, we can assume betweenness, right? We have Y and W, point V is right there. So yes, we can assume that. Woohoo! How about B? Angle WZY is a right. So WZY is a right angle. You cannot, incorrect. Do not assume exact measurements of segments or angles. Because that has to be marked. It has to be marked. You cannot assume. So you're going to say, no, it's not marked. Okay, if it's not marked, the answer is no, unless you measure it. I know it looks it, but you can't count it. How about C? WX is parallel to line YZ. Look at the chart. Things that we can and cannot assume. They're right above you.
No.
We cannot assume parallel lines unless they're marked. So no, it's not marked. All right. Then how about D? That ZW is congruent to ZY. What? It's not marked, so nope, we can't assume it. Nope, we don't know. We do not know because it's not marked. Fantastic. Okay, so like there's very little we can actually assume.
But you know it's right though.
Huh?
But you know some of those are right.
Some of those could be right, but not all of them. And so unless it says so. And that's the thing, like in years past, you've been taught, especially in middle school or elementary school, like if it looks like a circle or if it looks like a square, it's a square. No, it's not. Not in geometry. In geometry, it very much has to be a square, or it has to at least be marked that it's a square in order for you to know that it's a square. It could technically be a rectangle and you not know it. Geometry is the math of shapes. It has to be very, very specific. All right, so then it says making constructions. It's going to be helpful if you make light marks, okay, when we're drawing. That can be easily erased. So you're not going to want to use a pen. You're going to want to push very faintly to make your marks. Now, this is also bizarro, not my favorite. Until it's completed. Do not use dots or point to represent points. Okay? Intersections of lines and arcs are more accurate, and I will show you what that means. Okay? So to make a point, you're gonna have like a line, and then you're gonna have an arc that your compass made. And that's your point is going to be right there, but you're not gonna put a dot on it. You're gonna leave it just like that and label it A or whatever. No, you can't drop out. Cause no. I was like, you could be, but you'd have to take that up with somebody else other than me. All right, so let's get constarted, because the word is construction. So let's get started with these constructions. All right, you do need your book open to page 46, because some of those measurements. 46. Construction 1, it's a circle with a given radius length. So notice it says given, okay? You're given points A and B. Do you see those points over here? Do you see the points A and B over here on your paper? Okay, I heard Lucas say uh-huh. All right. So then we are going to construct a circle A with a radius length of AB. All right, so what that means is you're going to take your compass and you're going to put your compass put 1 point on B and 1 point on A. Okay, that is the length of, what did it say? It says with radius length AB. So that's your radius. So you're going to take your circle, you're going to put this compass on your paper and lightly spin your paper around. It's hard to do up here. I have the computer and everything else in the way. And make your circle. Spin your paper, spin your paper. Don't even turn your compass. All right. And so this is your circle. And this is, I need to put a point where my center was. I got it off on the wrong place. Or you could have put the point there first. And this is circle A. Hmm? Yeah, how to use your compass?
Yeah, do you push hard on the center?
Yeah, I would push hard on the center. That's your pivot point. And then very, very lightly. Oh, that's
Mine
very
doesn't
dark.
stay still though. Like it just like I'll just make it even and then it'll
Here,
kind of
you can try mine.
Thanks.
Uh-huh, and I'll see if I can get yours fixed.
In the middle and say A.
Yep, put a point in the middle and right where, there you go, where your metal tip was, right? You can make a little dot. Should have made a mark. Good. And then label it A because it told us that it was, we were constructing circle A. So the center of it is an A. Okay? Very nice.
I like making circles.
All right, good. Construction 2, it's also on page 46. If you want to look there, we're going to copy a segment. So we are given segment MN, which is right here, segment MN. We're going to copy it. So it says, use a straight edge to draw a line. So again, you're going faintly with your pencil. It says, make a tick mark and label P. So P is your starting point. Okay, that's it. All right, so we're just going to make a line on there. Nope, we don't care right now. Make your line longer. Okay, P is down here. Yep, it says to, these are the directions. That's the point where we're starting. Okay, so we make a line and we make a tick mark and we label it P. Okay, now, so this line is related, but we're going to make a mark on it for the actual length. So you take your compass. It says adjust your compass to the length of MN. So I'm going to adjust my compass to the length of M and N. Do you see that? Okay, and then I'm going to use it to copy. So I'm going to bring that down to P. I'm going to set my metal piece on P, and I'm just going to make a little arc. Done.
Hold on, did we put which one on P?
The metal. Put the metal on P so your pencil can make that little arc. And I'm going to, what do I label that arc as? Q, good, because it said construct segment PQ. So we have the P and now we have the Q. And it's congruent to segment MN. That's it. From P to Q is it. It's, no, don't erase the rest of the line. Nope, that's perfect. That is it. All right. How are we feeling so far?
I want to draw more circles.
You want to draw more circles? Circles are more fun. All right, let's go on to construction 3 then. We're going to copy an angle this time. So, all right, we have given angle A. It's over here, right? So it's angle CAB or angle BAC, angle C, or angle A, pardon me, either one. And we're going to construct what? What is next? What does it say? Construct angle X congruent to angle A. We're copying it. So we're going to draw a ray with the origin of X. So just like we did on segment, we're going to draw that line. Okay, so we're going to draw a line.
Should we make it straight?
Yep, straight line. And X is my origin. Okay. Are we good so far? Let me bring this down here. Okay. Okay. So then it says place the point of your compass on A. The point is always the metal piece. And draw an arc intersecting both rays. So draw an arc intersecting both rays. So on A and an arc, okay, that intersects both rays up there. Doesn't matter where. Not at all.
Just
But
not even on it.
it has to be on it. It has to intersect both rays. Okay. And so it says, hold on, no. So do you have this so far?
Yes.
Okay, and then it says label that Y. So that point there is Y, that intersection.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's good. All right. So when I need to take that to my new line, I need to copy that down here on my new line. So put my point of the protractor on X, and I want to mark that on my line, my Y. I was like, I actually don't need to mark it on my old one. That might be a little confusing for people on my new one. Are we good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Then next up, we're going to place the compass on, well, we did number 3. We placed the compass on X and we drew our arc. Okay. 4, adjust compass to length BC. Notice this is not a segment, right? BC is this arc up here. So now we're going to take our compass and we're going to adjust it to the length of B to C. Oh, hold on. I didn't. Time out. I didn't do mine. We have to go back a step. I didn't make my arc Y big enough. I'm sorry. So put my point on there. There's my arc. My arc had to be bigger. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I was done with my line. Okay. Yeah, you have to have a longer arc. So like a half circle. Or a fourth of a circle, sorry. Yeah, it needs to be longer. I'm sorry, I forgot. So how about when you get that part done, you give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's better. Good. There we go. Here, move this out of your way so you can rotate your paper easier. There we go. Perfect. All right, now we're set. My bad on that. That's good. Remember, light drawings. They don't have to be very dark. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to go back and measure the segment of BC. Okay, so B to C. Okay, measure that segment.
Literally the line you gave. It's literally one.
Okay, and then you might put your eyes on the board. I'm going to take that and I'm going to transfer it. I'm going to put my point just like it was on point B. Now that goes to point X. And I'm going to make an arc across that arc that I just had. I'm going to make my tick mark intersection right there. And it just needs to be a little mark because then I get to connect the dots. But that is point Z. So that's step 5. We placed our compass on Y and we drew an intersecting arc, or drew an arc intercepting. I should say intersect. Either way, I guess it's right. Our first arc. And we're going to label that Z. Yep, then we draw a line, so it needs to be you need to use your straight edge. I always put my dot on the vertex there, the endpoint of X, and set my straight edge on it, take it up to my other edge, and draw right through my arc. And there's angle ZXY, or angle X. And it is congruent to angle A. But you didn't use a protractor to measure it. You made a construction and not a drawing today. Woohoo! That was on your bucket list?
Now that is over with.
We never have to do it again.
Yay!
False! You're going to have homework. It's going to be awesome. And now you get to do the on your own and construct an angle. So these, okay, you have angle A here, angle B here. It says construct an angle with 2M angle A. What do you think that is?
I don't know. 2 angles?
2, so you're constructing one angle that has the measure of 2 angle A's. So you're going to have to put angle A on it. So like if I was doing this by, like with the drawing, I would have angle A, and then I would have another angle A. So how are you going to work that out together in a construction? And then B, construct an angle with the measure of angle A plus angle B. So you might have angle B, although that's probably bigger, and then you would have the angle of measure of angle A here.
I feel like we should vote on if this should be our homework or not.
Oh, no vote. No vote.
You mean yes vote?
No vote. No vote. However, we can walk through A together if you would like.
No, we have to do it on our own. It says it on the paper.
It does, but
Shut up.
all right. So let's walk. I mean, like we just did one example. So what? How do we start?
Construct
How do we start constructing an angle?
Go on.
an angle.
Make a line. All right. So I'm gonna take my straight edge and I'm gonna make a line. Okay. Then what do I do? I'm going to make an arc, right, on angle A that intersects both of these lines. What is that going to? Yep, just barely. Oh, this protractor. Or this compass, pardon me. I'm going to have to see if I can get out this. I'll have to see if I can use this other one. Okay, this one's a little better. All right, so this one's a little different. Okay, so I made my arc. So I need to do the same thing on the line that I drew. And remember, make a big arc. Might make a really big arc on this one because you have to do two of them. Okay, now what do you measure? So if I name this B and C, or maybe I should say C and D because I already have a B on the other one. Okay, so now I need to measure the distance between C and D. Okay, and so I'm going to get one angle A by putting that tick mark there. How do I get a second angle A?
Starting at that tick mark.
Yeah, I just have to go up to that tick mark and make another one of those and intersect it on the line. And that's it. And then I've got to draw my connecting line and I have my angle. And it's 2m2 times the measure of angle A. AB is a little bit harder because you're going to have to measure both A and B and then put them together. But you can do it!